As Keanu Reeves graces Vanessa Cross's talk show, the audience anticipates yet another captivating and uplifting conversation. However, Vanessa shows no interest in seeking inspiration. She aims to incite, confront, and reveal the actor's deepest vulnerabilities. However, as Keanu settles into his seat, an unsettling feeling lingers in the air. Vanessa grips her cue cards, a keen smile lighting up her face. A discussion that was meant to be serene might escalate into something far more significant. Yet, unbeknownst to Vanessa, in mere moments, she would find herself utterly speechless. What Keanu would express that evening would alter the course of events, leaving an indelible mark on everyone present in the audience. Before we proceed with this narrative, please share your location with us. If you find delight in tales like this, consider subscribing to the channel, as we have another captivating story lined up for you tomorrow. The studio is bustling with activity. The brilliant stage lights blaze fiercely, casting a radiant glow over the set in the heart of the expansive auditorium. The crowd buzzes with excitement, waving vibrant banners adorned with words of appreciation and thanks. Among them, a few truly shine. Keanu, you embody heroism, and we are grateful for your authentic self. The flurry of activity from cameras and producers in the background indicates that the moment everyone has been waiting for is just around the corner. A quiet countdown glimmers on the screens positioned throughout the set. The radiance of the spotlights flickers against the backdrop curtain, crafting an enchanting atmosphere for the scene that is about to unfold. Suddenly, he emerges. Keanu Reeves strides across the stage with a serene, deliberate pace. His presence exudes a distinctive allure, a straightforwardness that distinguishes him from the usual Hollywood icons. He dons a simple black shirt, a subtle blazer, and faded jeans, embodying his down-to-earth character. His dark hair cascades gently over his shoulders, and a gentle smile rests on his lips. The crowd bursts into a wave of applause. Some utter his name, while others merely observe in awe. He possesses a quality that calms while profoundly touching the hearts of those in his presence. With a subtle wave of his hand, Keanu expresses his gratitude before comfortably taking his place in the central chair on the stage, settling in with a relaxed demeanor. The ambience vibrates with a blend of thrill and respect. Across the table, with an unwavering stance, sits Vanessa Cross. She is a celebrated figure in the field, known for her incisive interviews and cutting style. Her show is recognized for revealing weaknesses, uncovering unsettling realities, and sometimes tearing down reputations. Clad in a tailored blazer and with her hair neatly pulled back, Vanessa clutches a stack of question cards with a confident hold. Her gaze is sharp, almost hunting. Her lips form a subtle half-smile, embodying both professionalism and a hint of challenge. She observes Keanu intently for a moment before inclining her body just a bit closer. Her voice resonates with authority and precision as she poses the initial inquiry. Keanu, you possess celebrity status and wealth. You could enjoy a life of luxury. Instead, you opt for the subway, contribute millions, and appear to shun any form of luxury. Does that truly impact the world in any significant way? A hush envelopes the studio for a brief moment. The crowd whispers softly. Some scowl, uneasy with the bold nature of the inquiry. Others await with bated breath for Keanu's reply. He, nonetheless, stays untroubled. With an air of calm, he takes a moment to ponder. He raises his gaze to Vanessa, a gentle smile gracing his lips. Vanessa, have you ever considered the countless individuals who experience a sense of invisibility each day? A palpable stillness envelopes the studio. Silence envelopes the audience. Some expressions transform, influenced by the elegance and profundity of his reply. Vanessa arched an eyebrow, taken aback by Keanu's seamless ability to counter her provocation while maintaining his calm demeanor. However, she remains unsatisfied. She turns to the next card, gripping it delicately, her eyes shining with a fierce determination. Her ultimate advantage has yet to be revealed. With a subtle shift forward, she prepares to pose the question that she believes will ultimately unsteady Keanu. Yet, Vanessa's journey is far from over. She has a far more ruthless question ready, one that will probe the most profound scars of Keanu's existence. The studio, once brimming with vitality and enthusiasm, now finds itself enveloped in a heavy stillness. Keanu's final reply resonated in an unforeseen way. A few individuals in the audience exchange glances, while others rest their hands in their laps, contemplating the message they have just received. Yet, Vanessa Cross remains unsatisfied. With a deliberate grace, she crosses her legs, fine-tuning her posture. A subtle smile tugs at the edges of her mouth, yet her gaze carries an unyielding intensity. She nonchalantly flings the next question card onto the table, allowing the tension to hang in the atmosphere. In that moment, she pulls the trigger without a second thought. Keanu, you've experienced the profound loss of your fiancé, your child, and your closest companion. Didn't that break you apart? Do you not sense that ultimately, all that remains is suffering? The effect of the inquiry is instant. The crowd is silent, anticipation hanging in the air. Some gasp, hands instinctively rising to their mouths, taken aback by the harshness of the inquiry. People shift uncomfortably, their expressions revealing disapproval at the direct and thoughtless manner in which Vanessa tackled the topic. Keanu tilts his head down just a bit. His fingers weave together over his knees, and for a brief moment, silence envelopes the entire studio. The lenses draw closer to capture the nuances of his expression. His eyes, typically radiating a calm light, now reveal a more profound depth. A vast expanse of recollections, of grief, of anguish that defies expression. Vanessa observes intently, poised for any sign of uncertainty, a brief glimpse of weakness she can take advantage of. Yet, Keanu raises his eyes. He inhales deeply, then replies in a steady tone, "Pain has never defeated me. It imparted knowledge to me. It revealed to me that nothing lasts forever, that each moment holds significance, and that genuine love endures." The studio is enveloped in complete silence. The eyes of certain audience members start to shimmer with emotion. A woman seated in the front row retrieves a tissue and subtly wipes her eyes. Even those who have not encountered his personal narrative can sense the depth and authenticity in his expressions. The focus transitions to Vanessa. For the first time, she appears a bit disconcerted. The bright smile dims for an instant, giving way to a look that mixes astonishment and, maybe, a hint of remorse. However, Vanessa Cross refuses to retreat. She straightens her shoulders, concealing any doubt, and glides her fingers across the question cards. Her forthcoming action is already determined, and this time she intends to catch Keanu off guard in a way he never saw coming. Yet Vanessa remains undeterred. She still possesses one last clever maneuver, a query crafted to reveal Keanu's vulnerabilities and diminish his significance in the film industry. The atmosphere in the studio is thick with the lingering impact of recent events. The crowd remains hushed, a few still processing Keanu's message. Yet Vanessa Cross is determined to keep pushing forward. She straightens her shoulders, regains her composed smile, and deliberately flips through the question cards in her hand, as if thoughtfully choosing her next move. Yet, she is fully aware of the precise question she intends to pose. She leans forward slightly, her eyes narrowing with the intensity of a hunter poised for the perfect moment to pounce. Her tone has shifted, becoming less confrontational and more strategic, reminiscent of a meticulously set snare. "Keanu, you've crossed the 50 mark now. Hollywood seems to overlook performers of your age these days. Do you not worry about fading into obscurity?" The crowd responds immediately. Some murmur in disbelief. Some people scowl, clearly uneasy with the directness of the inquiry. Keanu, on the other hand, takes his time to respond. He softly intertwines his fingers, lost in contemplation. His gaze wanders for a fleeting instant, as if journeying to a far-off realm, a place known solely to him. Vanessa perceives the silence and feels a quiet satisfaction within. This was the moment she had long anticipated. In that moment, Keanu raises his gaze and meets her eyes with unwavering intensity. His face remains serene, yet his expression bears an unexpected heaviness. "Vanessa, have you ever witnessed the beauty of a sunset?" The writer blinks, taken by surprise. The crowd appears to be bewildered by the unforeseen reaction. Keanu carries on, his voice gentle yet rich with significance. The beauty of a sunset is truly captivating. Have you ever encountered someone dismissing it as unimportant simply because night is approaching? The studio bursts into enthusiastic applause. Cheers of encouragement resonate among the crowd. Absolutely. Well done. Keanu, you are truly remarkable. Vanessa stands still, caught in a moment of stillness. For a brief instant, she relinquishes all authority over the interview. Her expression changes. The practiced grin disappears, giving way to an expression that is difficult to decipher, a hint of astonishment, and maybe even a glimmer of admiration. Keanu refrained from attacking her. He chose not to respond with hostility. He deftly turned the question back on her, delivering a response so exquisite and compelling that, for an instant, the very foundation of the interview appeared to crumble. Vanessa inhales deeply, striving to reclaim her composure. She surveys the cards in her hand and recognizes the necessity for a new strategy. Her strategy to disturb Keanu isn't unfolding as she anticipated. Yet, a path remains. If he is unafraid of fading into obscurity, perhaps she can delve into something even more profound. Her upcoming action will focus on his formative years. Vanessa, sensing her grip loosening, chooses to confront Keanu's history, aiming to reveal his weaknesses. The studio remains alive with the energy from Keanu's recent reply. The crowd, previously caught in a mix of applause and whispers, now regards him with a fresh sense of admiration. He has approached the questions with a remarkable sense of composure. He has transformed every challenge into a profound contemplation. However, Vanessa Cross has more to accomplish. She senses the grip on the interview loosening, and it ignites her frustration. Her show lacks memorable, uplifting moments. It has a reputation for challenging celebrities directly. She must reclaim her hold on the dialogue. Thus, she chooses to delve further. She lifts the next question card, pausing for a moment, as if contemplating her response. Yet, beneath the surface, she is fully aware of the words she longs to express. Leaning forward slightly, her voice carries a strong conviction, yet there's a chilling undertone to it. Keanu, you were raised without a father figure. Your mother put in great effort to provide for you. Have you never experienced frustration over that? The effect of the inquiry is instant. The crowd fidgets restlessly. Some scowl, recognizing that Vanessa is attempting to prod at a long-healed scar. Keanu, on the other hand, remains unfazed. He anticipated this assault. He inhales deeply, turning his gaze away from Vanessa to stare into the horizon, lost in the echoes of memories from a distant time. Following a brief pause, he presents a subtle, contemplative smile. My father imparted a valuable lesson to me. Vanessa blinks, a hint of confusion crossing her face. She had anticipated a different reaction. Keanu glances back at her and carries on. He revealed the type of person I aspired not to be. My mother showed me the ways to endure. The studio is enveloped in silence. A woman in the audience releases a soft sob, her emotions spilling over despite her efforts to contain them. A handful of individuals share knowing looks, moved by the profound yet straightforward essence of Keanu's message. For the first time, Vanessa pauses, uncertainty flickering in her mind. This interview was intended to be a strategic maneuver, with her dictating the pace. Yet Keanu stands firm, unwilling to conform to her expectations. He remains calm, not responding with anger or attempting to justify himself. Instead, he transforms each challenging question into a valuable lesson for life. For a fleeting instant, Vanessa finds herself at a loss for words. She peruses the cards again, her fingers gently tracing the surface of the paper. It is evident that her earlier approaches are proving ineffective. Yet, there remains one last maneuver. She raises her gaze to Keanu, and this time, her expression is devoid of the sarcasm it once carried. Now, there exists an intriguing shift, a shadowy undertone. If delving into his history wasn't sufficient, there may be just one thing that could genuinely unsettle him. a deep-seated anxiety about the inevitability of his own demise. Yet, she holds one final card, a question poised to compel him to face his most profound fear. The atmosphere in the studio crackles with a vibrant energy, an indescribable force that hangs in the air. The audience is not merely observing an interview. They are experiencing something more profound, something that resonates on a deeper level. Keanu Reeves approaches each question with a serene composure, transforming even the most pointed inquiries into contemplative moments that captivate the audience in hushed admiration. However, Vanessa Cross has more to accomplish. Thoughts swirl rapidly in her mind. Each meticulously planned jab, each cunning verbal snare, none of them had managed to rattle him. She straightens her blazer, gradually drawing back her shoulders. A storyteller renowned for unraveling even the most poised individuals, she has crafted her journey by delving deeper, challenging limits, and revealing hidden truths. At this moment, as she sits opposite Keanu, an unfamiliar sensation begins to stir within her. Exasperation, not due to his refusal to engage in her game, but rather because he continually alters the rules entirely. Her earlier strategies sought to unveil him, to dismantle the allure that cloaked his benevolence and modesty. Yet, he had only given her a multitude of questions, leaving the answers elusive. This is her final opportunity. She must seize the reins. This time, there's an absence of a smirk, devoid of any performative charm. She inclines her body ever so slightly. The motion is intentional, measured. Her voice, when it arrives, is softer than it once was. Yet there's an undercurrent, something more frigid interlaced within it. Keanu, do you not experience fear? The phrases linger in the space between them, caught in the quiet atmosphere. Time is relentless. Have you ever contemplated what will unfold when your moment arrives? A shared silence envelopes the studio. This stands apart. This transcends the realm of Hollywood acclaim or societal views. This transcends box office figures, acting trajectories, or cultural significance. This concerns a reality from which no one can flee. Keanu angles his head just a bit. He takes his time to respond. He doesn't brush it aside with humor. He stands firm. Instead, he inhales deeply, his face a mask of ambiguity. For the first time during the interview, an awkward silence lingers. Vanessa takes a moment to pause, her breath caught in her chest. The audience leans in, anticipation hanging in the air, and then at last he begins to speak. Vanessa, are you aware of the distinction between fear and faith? Vanessa's eyelids flutter. For the very first time, she finds herself taken by surprise. Vanessa tightens her lips. She anticipated opposition. She had anticipated a defensive reaction. She had even anticipated ambiguous, rehearsed replies. She was taken by surprise. For the first time since the interview commenced, she finds herself without a swift counterargument. She casts her eyes down to the question cards she holds. She sifts through them, searching for something, anything, that could aid her in reclaiming her grip. Yet all at once the phrases on the cards seem devoid of meaning. All her careful preparations, the strategies, the pitfalls, the mental games of reporting, now feel utterly insignificant. This is not a conflict. Keanu has transformed her meticulously arranged chessboard into something completely different. A grander vision, an unexpected turn of events. She believed she was leading an interview. Instead, Keanu transformed it into a dialogue about existence itself. As she gazes at her notes, a revelation dawns on her. She has one final question to pose. Profound essence. A definitive conclusion. She raises her eyes. As she begins to speak once more, her voice hovers just above a whisper. What happens if you fade from memory once you're no longer here? The gravity of the inquiry descends into the atmosphere, akin to a boulder plunging into profound depths. The crowd holds its breath. For the first time in the entire segment, Keanu Reeves takes a moment before responding. The atmosphere in the studio has grown denser now. Vanessa's final question, spoken softly, hangs in the stillness. What if, in the end, you fade from memory once you're no longer here? This question is crafted to peel back the layers of an individual, to reveal a concealed apprehension, to compel them to confront their own triviality. Yet Keanu remains unfazed. Instead, he offers a gentle smile. It's not a grin. It is not the practiced grin of a film icon. It's truly remarkable, something profound. He inhales deeply, and when he speaks, his voice remains unwavering as always. The question isn't what they will take away from my presence. He takes a brief moment, allowing the words to linger in the air. The inquiry is what will linger in their minds regarding you. Palpable change sweeps across the crowd. Some individuals exhale quietly in surprise. Some remain seated, taken aback by the unforeseen twist. A few exchanged glances as if coming to the realization that, for the first time, Vanessa finds herself on the receiving end of the question. The lens draws closer to her visage. Vanessa Cross, the woman renowned for dismantling the reputations of public figures, now appears adrift. Her lips part ever so slightly, yet no words escape them. Her fingers grip the cue cards resting in her lap, but she refrains from looking down at them. For the first time in this interview, and perhaps for the first time in a long while, she finds herself without a rehearsed response. The stillness expands. Suddenly, an unforeseen event unfolds. A solitary tear glides down Vanessa's cheek. She leaves it there. The lens captures the subtle movement of her throat as she swallows, the shift in her breathing, as though a weighty presence has just taken root within her. Keanu observes her, neither with victory nor with arrogance, but with a deep sense of empathy. He rises to his feet. The studio has fallen into a hushed stillness. The cheers have subsided, leaving behind a thoughtful atmosphere among the audience. Individuals remain motionless, some brushing away residual tears, while others drift into contemplation. Vanessa Cross sits in her chair, still and silent. The cue cards, once her tool, her armor, now rest forsaken on the table in front of her. She has moved beyond their necessity. Or maybe, for the first time, she understands that she never truly did. The lenses remain focused, and the audience continues to observe. However, Vanessa is focused solely on her own thoughts, not on the audience, the ratings, or the headlines that will emerge from this interview. She is reflecting on her own thoughts. The phrases resonate within her thoughts. The real inquiry isn't centered on what they will recall about me. Rather, it's focused on what they will take away from their experience with you. Her reflection gazes back at her from the polished surface of the table. For years, she has crafted her path with incisive language, unyielding inquiries, and a steadfast conviction that revealing the truths of others granted her strength. The screen slowly transitions to darkness. Finally, a concluding message emerges. Life isn't measured by the duration of our existence, but by the legacy we create. Melodic tunes drift softly through the air, evoking a sense of calm and introspection. The video reaches its conclusion. If this narrative resonated with you, please like, comment, and share.